Welcome to the Riders Lounge. I'm Mark Fawcett.
And I'm Shane Johnson.
And on today's show, we are reviewing the top 5
+1
all-mountain freestyle boards.
So this is another one of those where there's a ton of debate. We involve Hylas and Morrison a lot more in this one, as they tend to ride the directional twins a bit more than we do. Not to say that we don't. There's it falls into the rad dad category, right? If you're out riding with Phoebe or something like that, you might take a directional twin out just to play around on the mountain.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
it's super fun to go and ride and switch around and
butters,
side
doing all that, side hits.
Yep.
So this category, all mountain freestyle. These are again still boards. This could be your only board you buy for the season. Definitely could be, and really, it's just something that it's going to lend itself to landing switch a lot easier than say the POW boards we talked about.
And
obviously.
like some of these boards, like, it doesn't mean they're not high performance. Like Gigi rides the board we're going to talk about in natural selection.
Oh yeah, a lot of these will still crush POW. You're just possibly going to be a bit more centered. And the side cut radii is going to be sometimes a little bit quicker than the other ones were longer radius. But yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah.
And speaking of Gigi and Slash, so this board really was a no-brainer. Like Fozzie said, Gigi rode this at Natural Selection, but this is a directional twin snowboard. Lends itself to all mountain freestyle completely. Big old camber into a little bit of blend here, into really nice kick, front and back. Back in the day, this board, a lot of people complained, if you go back 6 years, say the ATV from Slash, it was aggressive. It was really, really, really stiff. And over the past 3 years, Gigi's chilled this board out a little bit more. It's a little more user-friendly. It's gone from just like really what I would have considered a 10 out of 10 to like a 7.5, 8, somewhere in that realm. Little wider in the waist too, which is really good to see because this thing carves like a beast. This board carves. Fozzie was just looking at it too because he's like, oh, I want the 5.9 wide. Well, we have the 5.9 wide right here.
Here it is. And here it is. It also has, just for that like little bit more of forgiveness, if you're doing butters or things like that in the powder, all the corners are 3D'd at an angle. And just the corner, like, so not super far down on the board, but the corners are all 3D'd, and that just gives you that little bit less catchy feel when you're rolling around up front or doing anything off the tail.
Yeah, super high-end base, of course, on these. I've got it upside down, but full sintered base. I believe this was a 7500. Correct me if I'm wrong, Morrison, somewhere on there. But high-end sintered base, like all these boards we're about to talk about.
And the core is pretty amazing. 4 different Paulownia, spruce, aspen, whatever, like a lot of different materials in there.
Gigi gets techie
Carbon
with these boards.
and Kevlar.
Yeah,
Carbon
you can
and
see
Kevlar in there.
the strips in it too.
So it's super techy, bomber. Like, I mean, that's one thing. We never saw one of these come back.
No, no, we had been carrying Slash upstairs a long time, and the quality's there. The Tunisia factory these guys use, kick-ass snowboards come out of there. So an easy #1 for us. Go back and watch Gigi's last run at Revelstoke. You'll see him riding this. But like I say, this groomer day at the resort is going to be a super fun. You can rip in the park with this. You can take it in the pipe. Very truly an all-terrain vehicle, as it's called, the Slash ATV. All right, so an easy #2 is the Capita MegaMerc. This is like our team crew, everybody has one of these in their quiver. It's a directional twin, again with one of my favorite profiles, which they call their V2 profiling, which is camber into that mellowed out section, which, like Fozzie and I always talk about blends. This blend is just, it gets on edge so damn well.
It rolls really clean.
But when you're getting into these high-end materials and this top sheet, this thing is snappy, fun, and ollies like a beast.
Yeah,
like 100%. It really does.
And not buzzy. All these Capita Megas, people always, and back in the day, the more composites you add, the more they buzz and vibrate. Not the case. This thing rides really damp for how light it is and how much composite's inside. And I was also really impressed about, like, we were calling it a bit of a beast. It's a beast from the technological sense.
Well, it's snappy. And
It's snappy,
yeah.
but for how light it is, it'll handle like a lot of oomph. So like you can really push on this board and it'll handle it.
And you'll see guys in the park with this board, but you'll also see people free riding, all like tree runs, all mountain. Again, this is a category that's kind of fluid, but we're focusing on freestyle. This thing you can land switch all day long on this board. If you ride it center, it's going to be a true freestyle snowboard.
Yeah, pretty much a twin. It's like ever so slightly directional, but
no taper in any of these boards.
We don't have. There's not taper in one of these boards in these top 5+1. They call it a 7 out of 10 on Flex.
You think it's a little softer?
I think it's a little softer.
Really, hey?
Not in a bad way.
I'm light, so I actually felt like it was a a little bit stiffer.
Okay,
so
well then
it's funny.
So then
it's between the two of
then
us.
it's probably a 7.
We'll go a 7.
And then of
but
course,
I am lighter, and I rode the 5.9, which is the bigger model.
That's
right?
this one
so
right here. Yeah. Because I'd ride the wide version. I'd ride the 1.6 wide.
Well, and that's a good thing too. Like this, Capita's committed to this board, as we know. It's a 53 all the way to a 60 wide, which is what you ride. 53, 55, 57, 59, 6.1. Then our wides are 5.6, 5.8, and the 60. So, I mean, with good reason, they're committed to this. This is outside of the Megadeth. This is the other one that kind of we see in the store a lot, which also influences my decisions when I'm picking boards for down here, and I'm sure you too. We see what the consumer base is gravitating towards, or the people that have already bought it that just come in raving. Everybody talks about this board, so an easy number 2.
An easy number 2, and of course Capita, like with this level of the Megas, you're getting like a gorgeous base with a full, like the value of a stone grind patterned structure like this. It's like $100
easily.
Yeah,
easily.
And you're getting
stone
that.
Grind.
Here it is as part of the board. So.
Gigi's board as well, we should say the slash boards come structured as well.
One of the only other companies, Capita, like all their high-end boards do is great.
Yeah, totally. All right, on to number 3. All right, number 3, Mons' upgraded version of the sensor. Just for starters, just such a good graphic.
It's great graphic, love it.
Like, check out the base too.
It's so good.
Nothing to do with tech, but I'm always a graphics guy, and Mons, you killed it with this. I love the 90s vibe. It's got that sort of old Joyride type. Anyway,
there's a lot of Joyride stuff. There's a lot of camber in this board too.
Yeah, so that's a big thing. I mean, I think this, out of all the Nidecker lineup, this is
the, by percentage of length, the most camber out of their whole lineup. Not in a bad way at all.
No, ollie power, man.
They want a poppy board. They want a board like off the top of lips of anything that it's got a lot of spring and pop right off the, upon takeoff and rotation. This was when we went to Nidecker Team Week last year. This seemed to be what almost all the pros were on.
Well, this, I mean, he's an Olympic rider. This is probably going to lend itself to the more park-specific of the ones we're going to talk about today. All the high-end materials, including a sintered 9000 base on this. So, as you can tell, our team rode this board.
Yeah, they rode the hell out of this thing.
So, Hylas, Morrison, I mean, we couldn't even get it from their house till today. So, this was, the crew is pretty fickle, and this was probably one of the most demoed boards last year. So, again, just an easy pick for us. If you're looking for a true twin freestyle board, this has got to be on the list.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. 3 sizes, a 54, a 58, and a 62. And really, like a really good feel to it. I love these soft sidewalls. So like these urethane sidewalls are pretty kick-ass.
Yeah, this is
They
cool.
provide durability, and so it's a bit more of a, it's been around a while. A little bit of a difference in manufacturing on how they have to build the board to have sidewalls like this. You can put your nail right in there.
Well, and if you're riding steel, guys riding rails, this is also important because it's just going to take up a little bit of that impact.
It handles the impact so well, just with better longevity as well.
Yeah, so definitely consider that one if you are leaning into the hard side of freestyle for sure. All right, so the T.Rice Pro. I hadn't ridden one of these in a while. I'm a guy that often avoided C2, and then Fozzie got on the Razman and just raved about it. So I was like, okay, well, this came in my size, so I'm like, all right, let's get out on it. Good day at Salmo. You know, it was kind of hot pow day. But I got on this, and first I rode it like I traditionally ride boards. I was 2 back seat, and the front end would wander. You get up center, get your weight distribution correct on C2, and it did. It changed the game for me.
Yeah,
Like,
you gotta ride them a lot more centered.
Yeah.
Most of these boards are designed for that purpose. Yeah, there's insert packs, and we'll see another board soon with some that are really far back
Yeah.
if you want to. But for the most part, these boards are designed to ride really well, pretty much dead center or very slightly back. You know, this board's got the classic LibMerc DNA with, well, with the C2, of course, but that nice damp feel. So like the ride feel on these is, I mean, I always talk about how Libs are super damp, and no exception with this board at all. And then the C2, it's just really forgiving. You still get pop, like you still get everything back out of the
yeah,
board.
but that rocker in the middle,
It's just easy to
Yeah,
do everything. And I was really impressed in the POW how it was still a really good performer in the POW, but like I would never get hung up. Like I could like spin butter, land something sort of sideways and like get back to straight like effortlessly compared to like the catchy feel that most boards kind of have in those situations. So
yeah, for a pro model, this board rides easy.
like if you're wanting if you're wanting to like land things, like get a higher percentage of landing stuff, landing switch,
Yep.
this is a lot more forgiving than just about anything out there. And yeah, big recommendation on the Lib and the C2.
Sublimated center base. We have subtle mag. It's not the crazy magnet traction, but you can tell, you know, there's multiple contact points throughout this one.
And 10 sizes.
Yeah.
10 sizes.
With good reason.
Yeah,
With good reason.
yeah.
A lot of gals ride this in the smaller sizes too, because where does it start?
148
Yeah, yeah.
to a 164 wide.
There we
so
go. Yep.
yeah, and not like big gaps too. Like, you know, there's going to be that exact size for you in this model.
And I do have to point out, Toby Grubb's a friend. He kind of put all this together. This is all Trav's graphics over the years. So there's some Perillo in there, Scopes in there. Everyone he's had do graphics on a top sheet is kind of mixed into this giant snake. So I was sort of digging through and figuring out what years everything was from. Super, super cool. Tech-wise, again, standard Mervin base or sidewalls. So again, like we were talking about with the other urethane ones, these are also incredibly durable, kind of like a golf ball, I always say. They'll take impact really, really well. And like Fozzie said, just classic Mervin construction. Really bomb-proof board, and there's a reason it comes in that many sizes. All right, on to number 5. You heard me raving about the Tor in an earlier episode, which has a bit of the front-end DNA on this. It was kind of my first time riding the 3 base technology.
Yep.
But Fozzie, you got on this 3BT. You got on this at demo days quite a bit.
I did, and this was my dark horse. Like I had no expectations at all when I grabbed it to go out on it, and it like kind of blew my mind how well it performed. So this won like the dark horse award for me at the review
cool.
there,
Yeah.
or the demo days. And like it has the DNA from like more of a free ride, almost carver board, like from here to here, and then like really forgiving with the 3 base technology at either end. So I was able to like butter around, spin around, do everything really simple, but it loved to handle high speed. So at high speeds and like carving and holding on with like some serious G-forces on variable snow conditions, the thing was unbelievable. It also has those urethane sidewalls.
Yeah.
And again, like this was just like a really unique mix for me, this board. Like could.
Because you don't jump on
It is
twins
an
all
all
the
mountain.
time
It's an
either.
all mountain freestyle. It's a it's a directional twin, but I'd almost have it for me like as like a put it. It could do well and hold its own in the free ride category, even though it's twin.
Well, I think that's how we ended up with the Tour there, because the tail was it lent itself a little bit more to free ride than this one did.
Yes, but boy,
yeah.
I like really like this. It does come in 7 sizes, which is nice, from a 53 to a 167 wide. I did use one of the wider versions. It's another reason I kind of liked it. And then Bataleon, of course, known for their like 3-base technology and sidekick, which is the we don't like to call it spooning. It's Bataleon does it a little different. So some of the companies make it like just one consistent curve, and Bataleon does it a little bit more aggressive with how they shape the corners off. There's actually a little bit of a seam there, but it works, and like that's that 3-base technology and what they call the sidekick. So it's got a lot going on here.
Yeah,
and
it's
got a lot going on.
Nose and tail for
but
sure.
But it works.
Yeah.
But it really works.
Well, and that's mixed with this just big old camber profile too.
Yeah.
Like, well, what they consider medium camber, but it actually, on here it's it's
and I mean,
camber.
there's 2 things with camber. There's how much there is, in height, and then how much there is in length. And because of their 3BT and their sidekick,
it helps that get on.
It really helps the roll. And because of that, they can actually bring the camber further forward, which is better for pop, which is better for distribution, everything. And that is their blend technology is doing the 3BT and the sidekick.
Nice, and very light. It's got what they call the super tubes, so there's these carbon rods through it too. But I'm impressed with how lightweight. It's not quite as light as the MegaMerc, but it's entering that.
It's getting in that category.
Yeah.
And just tremendous feel. Really damp on edge because of these sidewalls.
Yeah, I really like.
And
this one almost feels softer than the other.
Holds on. Again, it was an impressive ride.
Awesome.
Surprising.
Awesome. Okay, on to our +1. Now we're into the Mountain Twin / Twin Sister. We don't give the gals enough time on the show. It's hard to get the girls, honestly, from upstairs down here to do the show with us.
Yeah.
And you don't want to listen to 2 graybeards talk about female snowboard products. But this, I love the looks of this year. The men's, we'll drop the men's in as well. But the Twin Sister, the Mountain Twin, this is a no-brainer again in this category. We've talked about this board multiple times, but from Jones, it's one of their most adaptive offerings they have, if I can put it that way.
Yes.
It's just one of those boards where the pricing's really good for men or women, and this snowboard will truly do everything, and it is truly a twin. Profile is kind of one of my favorites in this category. Obviously, we've got our camber into our rocker or reverse, however you want to call it. And again, like Fozzie and I are always talking blend zones, that's one of the best ways, in my opinion, just to get that blend to soften up as you're arcing around. These aren't boards, and I can specifically say it with this. Back in the day, a lot of twins, I would take them out of the package and I'd file this section off.
Yeah.
Because you had to on those boards back in the day, especially if you were going to someone that was a little less of an aggressive rider. I don't need to do that.
Because the camber would go right to here.
So you'd have to arc it all off. Now these blends, and this board, you really can see it here as it flattens out. They just roll onto edge nice, but then they do hold that edge super, super well throughout here, mixed with, obviously, that camber powering in and out of a turn. Base material, as we would expect with every Jones, it's super high end. What is this one, Fozzie? Sintered 8,000.
8,000, yeah.
For that kind of money, getting that kind of race grade base, we see that with Jones all the time.
And this board subtly has all the bells and whistles of just about every board we've talked about. So they have traction tech, which is just some slight variations.
Mellow magnetraction.
Yeah, sure. But it's traction tech on Jones, and it's very subtle. They have some subtle 3D components at the ends of like very subtly spooning, and Like these are just like such a no-brainer that it'll ride just exactly how you think it will. It'll do everything. It behaves really well. It'll handle a lot. It's poppy enough. Great board for like powder. Like people even like taking these in the backcountry.
Backseat this a little bit, no problem.
The split board version of this is one of our most popular sellers. People love it. Even people that don't do a lot of like switch landings and stuff, for whatever reason, they really like it. 6 sizes for the twin sister and 12 sizes for the mountain twin.
Which is no surprise. I mean, we see it upstairs.
That's a lot, but that's great. And it's a
no surprise.
That goes from 148 into the Bighorn series, which goes all the way to a 168 wide. So for really big,
for the Sasquatches,
big humans,
for the big dogs.
Yeah.
As expected too with all Jones boards, a ton of recycled materials, recycled steel edges even. Like Jeremy and those guys are on point. So being eco-conscious like that too, any of their products you're buying, you know, you can feel good about that.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Yeah, so that was an easy +1. And like I say, we don't bring the gals stuff on enough, and we're definitely trying to do so more. We'll maybe get Danielle down here next round. But yeah, easy number 6 there. Let us know if we missed one. You guys always do. But Fozzie, what binding, if we were just talking about all mountain freestyle, what binding are you choosing? I know what I'm picking.
All mountain freestyle, I'm going with, for me, I'd go with an Atlas or maybe a Force.
Yeah, yeah. And I'd go Ultras, of course.
Yeah.
And then what boot?
Oh, well, that's an easy one, the new one.
Yeah.
I don't even know, are we allowed to even say
Oh,
it?
yeah, we can
Yeah,
talk about
Reset
that.
Pro, Union boot.
They're coming.
The new Union boot.
We'll have a review on that one very, very soon, so keep an eye on that. And again, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. We are brought to you by Cole Headwear, BALDFACE Lodge, James Brand Knives, our sister shop in Toronto, SANCTION. We are also brought to you by Spiral Wax. We're cooking up a wax with Tim down there in Portland, so that's coming to you soon. You'll be able to get that on our website. Speaking of the website, the t-shirts are finally on there. We got tees, stickers, hopefully a hoodie soon. We're scrambling, we're working on it, we're trying to get there. We're also brought to you, of course, by Tribute Board Shop right above us, and our good pal Matt at This Is Coffee, Backcountry Coffee. Got that stuff right there. It's killer, throw it in your backpack, make coffee out in the field, easy enough. Yeah, I think that's everybody that helps out the show, along with you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. I always go off about this. Not enough people subscribed. Half of you aren't subscribed. 70% of you aren't subscribed, something like that. Just click the button. It helps the algorithm.
It helps so much.
We can't control that stuff, but it helps the algorithm. And then it just references the show for other folks and gets us out there a little bit more. So that'd be a huge help. We appreciate you all. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one.